Hello and welcome to a look at a television review of Mid-South Wrestling, episode 261. And now, here's your host, Rodney West, and one of the panels, Jack Lord, and I would be Brent West. Hello, Rodney. How you doing?
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again. We get to welcome our friends at Facebook tonight as well. Welcome, everybody. YouTube, Facebook, everyone, welcome. Everyone, welcome. So, like
a special edition.
Special edition. I believe it's going to heat up tonight, too. Oh, it's going to be big time.
All I can say is, ho!
There you go. Jack Lord, Brent West. I'm Rodney West. And I say, let's get right down to it. Episode 261. We're going to see a culmination of things coming together. They've been building for weeks and weeks and weeks. And it comes in one of the most beautiful contract signings of all time. First of all, we open up the program as Joel and Bill Watts. Again, Boyd Pierce out because his mother had passed away. And they go over that. Joel, I think, is getting a lot better, even with Father right there on his ready to strangle him at any moment. But, yeah, I think Joel gets better and better. We start off the opening match, a three-man handicap match. It's Hercules Hernandez against Terry Ellis, Rick McCord, and is Mr. Brown? Mr. Brown there. Yeah, there we go. Paul Brown. Yeah, that's Paul Brown, Terry Ellis, and Rick McCord. If this match, I'm going to say if the three men are able to last through Hercules Hernandez, Cornette said that he would give them each $500 apiece. I think that, I'm not sure that's going to work out. He don't have to worry about paying no $500. This was, well, go ahead, Brent. You was going to comment.
I thought it was a pretty good deal. I think Hercules kind of got a little upset with all of them, though. I think at some point.
Yeah, everybody was kind of stepping over everybody in there, too close together. The premise is good. The execution was off just a tad, but it wasn't a bad match.
No, it wasn't a bad match.
I thought the last Shinonamaki was excellent. It was just beautiful.
Are you saying it was really the Shinonamaki? So you're saying?
Yeah, it was something.
See what y'all was saying?
I'm just wondering. If Mr. Hernandez really wanted to do that hold, because it did not look good at the end of that.
Are you saying it wasn't the Superstars Cobra hold?
It was not the Superstars Cobra hold, or Lord Humongous Shinonamaki, or the Mongolian Stompers Shinonamaki.
And don't forget the Cobra Clutch.
Sorry, the Cobra Clutch, yes.
But when they first started that, none of them knew what that was.
If you really want to impress me, maybe you might have wanted to put Sonny King, Brickhouse Brown, and Terry Taylor. Let's see how it goes then. But I guess that's the reason for the $500. Basically, no chance. So I can see the people out in the audience right now saying, "I don't think Cornette's going to have to worry about paying that money on this one. I just don't see it." But anyway, we move on to one of the most memorable things in Mid-South history, and I'm telling you right now, it is beautiful. This is a culmination, as we said, of weeks of building. It started off with Bill Watts banning all the objects, the 2x4s, tennis rackets, chairs, chains, the whole 9 yards. And we already had a contract signing several weeks ago with the PYT, and now with the Fantastics. And as Watts said, nothing happened in this one, in that particular one. But in this one, it was a lot different. As they lined up the stipulations for the Mid-South Tag Team Championship match that they was going to sign, there would be no substitutions in this match. It would be no disqualification. And Mr. Cornette asked, well, that means that we can use chairs and tennis rackets and all that? And he said, no, this is for the Mid-South Tag Team Championship, and those objects are still banned. So I thought that was beautiful, which was about to happen. And of course, there's no substitutions in the match. And if anybody is a no-show, then the team would forfeit. All the participants, Cornette signed for the Midnight Express, and Bobby and Tommy Rogers signed for themselves. And Cornette said wanted to make sure that this is unbreakable contract. Bobby and Dennis in this were beautiful. Kind of just standing back. You saw a little bit of that smoke that cloud of powder getting ready as Dennis Condrey comes around and hits Bobby Fulton in the face with the powder. Tommy Rogers then jumps on Dennis Condrey, and then the master picks up the chair, and Katie barred the door. He is aiming for the bleachers, let me tell you right now, and it was just beautiful. The first shot bent the chair, and it was just beautiful. Now, let me go ahead and get your what do you think, Brent, on this?
Well, I can tell you, I wouldn't have wanted to take them chair shots that both them guys took, because I mean they took some chair shots, and anytime you give Bobby Eaton or Terry Gordy a chair, you're going to feel it. Jack knows what it feels like to get hit with a chair with Terry Gordy,
right?
And so he understands how it feels. It was a fantastic angle that was done on Mid-South Wrestling. You know, not to take a pun on that, but a fantastic angle. I thought it was magnificent. What about you, Jack?
What about Jack?
Oh, I
Jack
thought the whole thing was great. Cornette was at his finest in this because, one, he looks so much better in a mask. But two, they painted that picture so well, and had that crowd, understanding everything that was the implications of this match down to a T. And then when that powder came out, it was pandemonium, and it was as well done as anything I have ever seen done.
There it is. It said on the official thing, it said the official, does it say signing? Wait a minute, what does it say here? The official signing of the return match.
Jack, when you were watching it, now, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching this, I want you to watch it twice. I want you to watch it twice for what's happening, and then I want you to watch it for a second time, and I want you to watch just the crowd. Jack, what did you think?
On their feet. They were buying everything they were being fed. Everything you want to do in wrestling to connect with the fans, they were doing right in that instance.
And what did they do? They got heat, and the people cared, whether or not
big heat.
And they cared about the fantastic stuff.
And that is the key. The emotional connection. I think Tom Pritchard talked about it many times on here. Making that emotional connection. If the people don't care about you and you just got decapitated with a couple of chairs upside the head, and they're not concerned about you, they're not standing there kind of quiet, and they were not quiet. They were cussing too. But anyway, they were. If they don't care about you and they're saying, "Oh, that was great. I enjoyed that." Yay! No, yeah, that's if you've just done something like that and the people don't care and they're sitting there crapping, that was just great. That was awesome, wasn't it? You haven't done your job. You haven't made that emotional connection to the fans. And quite honestly, since you don't make that emotional, you just as well just to give up, pack your bags, and move on to the next place, because you're never getting over. You are never getting over if that's the case. That's the response to the people of something similar to this happening. Just one of the most beautiful things, and probably one of the top things, not just in Mid-South, but in wrestling business in general. In fact, they did the same thing to world class.
Yeah.
And used it because basically at this point, the Midnight and the Fantastic were about to go there. And they used this exact same thing, this same footage, and got the feud between the Midnight and the Fantastic in the world class.
Well, soon comes the scaffold match.
Yes.
And soon comes in November. If you want to kill a territory deader than dead, have your scaffold match. You'll actually kill your territory. It about destroyed Mid-South Wrestling after this. Because there's nothing to them. You can't do anything. So, and the fans leave there going, "What did I just see?" Unless somebody falls off and breaks their neck, what are they going to actually see? They're going to see that wrestling's a work. That's what they're going to see.
And then the rest of the evening rest of the other matches are being you have this scaffold in the way. You can't see the match because you got a scaffold in the way.
But it did hurt business. It did hurt Mid-South Wrestling business. When Dad used to say, if you want to kill your territory, have your scaffold match. That will always do it. So
that's right. That's right. Do we want to say hello to some of our people, Brent, at this point?
Yeah, let's go ahead and pull up some people here.
Hey, James Williams, Lawrence, what a man name. Hello, welcome. James Casey, good evening. Good evening to you. We thank you very much for joining us. Mike Wood from St. Louis, Missouri. We thank you very much for joining us here this evening. Stuart Kemp, and we also say hello to you.
He said hello to the distinguished panel.
That's right.
Is there a panel somewhere else we're not seeing here today?
It must be. That might have been for another show. Yes. Good afternoon in the house from Aberdeen, Maryland. There is Dennis Cook. We thank you very much, Dennis, for joining us. Lynn Gross. Oh my! You never know what he's going to say.
Lynn got disconnected from the internet and from the entire world, and messaged me about 15 minutes before the show, trying to find out how to find us again. So, found us.
Well, we welcome you back, Lynn. We thank you so much for calling us. Sonny Incalade, I think is his name. We welcome you. Thank you very much. Coming from Louisiana, the home of Mid-South Wrestling. Now, fantastic. Rhett Harrison, also in attendance here this evening. Thank you, Rhett, for joining us. And then we have Rob Mckay. Thank you very much. Oh, Rob. Yeah, he's been stellar. Adam Pennison. He is from Louisiana. Big time, long time fan of Mid-South Wrestling. I honestly think probably the best organization at the time, 1984, just the best. Kevin Penley from Birmingham, Alabama. And we have Rob Mckay from upstate New York. We've seen him before. He's up there, upstate New York. And Darius Satterfield from Columbus, Ohio. Fantastic. We thank everybody for joining us. Anyway, we come back from break after this incident with the chairs. Just like I said, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Joel and Bill Watts are talking about it. Then we throw to a match, and I feel one of the shining matches of the show. It was Steve Dr. Death Williams against Chris Adams. And this was from the Myriad. Our father was doing the refereeing, and it was just a very comfortable, relaxed atmosphere, just a beautiful match from beginning to end. Dad was perfect. The referee, perfect. Steve Williams was actually better in this match than I've seen him in weeks of seeing him on television. And Chris Adams, always just fantastic. I think at one point in this match, I'm not sure if you caught the mouth there, but I believe Dad, our father, Ron West, called Steve Williams an orifice of some kind, I think. Did you catch that?
I believe he did. Yeah, right at the beginning of the match, it seemed like he called him that. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't know what, maybe he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. I don't know. But he did call him that during the part of the match. So.
Jack, I don't know about you, but it just looked like everybody in this match was having a great time.
Yeah. Was
in the moment, enjoying the moment. Am I right about that?
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, the crowd was into it. If you've got the crowd into what you're doing and you can't enjoy that, you're in the wrong industry. And everybody seemed to be enjoying that.
It said that was from Oklahoma City at the Myriad Center.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Ended that. Chris Adams didn't quite get the super kick, kind of caught him in the chest, knocked him back into the corner. And then in the end, Adams is in the corner, double leg dive. Steve Williams comes on top, legs on the rope. 1, 2, 3. Just a beautiful match. You can't get any better. And the fact of the matter is, nobody was harmed in the filming of this match.
No, there wasn't. Not even Joe Watts that filmed it.
No, Joe Watts, nobody. Nobody was. And what I mean by it was just such a great match. Nobody will even know who won and lost. It's just a beautiful match. Yeah, and would you be waiting for another Chris Adams and Steve Dr. Death Williams match? I think so. I think so. Yep. Just a beautiful, beautiful match. Then we go to the not so beautiful match. Coming up, match number 3. Hans Schroeder teaming with the bad Bob Owens against Brickhouse Brown and Sonny King. Jack, what's going on here in this match?
Tell me. it just seems like a whole lot of miscues.
Oh, it was I thought Bob Owens started off real good. I mean, we saw him more aggressive than he ever has been. And I think that's what we really need to see is more aggression because he's a big man. You have that kind of size, he should be able to go at it. I think and more vicious. And I really thought he turned he really turned it on in the match. Now, there was a point in the match where Brickhouse Brown shot, I think it was Bob Owens, in the ropes, and then tagged out Sonny King. Now, Brent, what did Bill Watts say to that?
Bill Watts said, "Man, that was mighty unusual to sling a man into the ropes and just leave him. That was kind of." There's no telling. Knowing Bill Watts, when that TV was over, because this was 261, taped on August 29th, 1984. I think Brickhouse Brown was in for a really big telling off during that night.
I think he got two of them because I don't think the referee, which is again Ron West, was very happy with him at the end.
Yeah,
I think he got his pretty good chewed when he got up by Mr. Ron West, and then Watts when he got to see him later. It was
and Sonny King probably as well. So,
I guarantee you, Bill was probably at the door as well when he came up. Bill Dundee was probably at the door, going, "What in the world was that?" I would think, probably Sonny King got him too. It was.
It was pretty bad. How did that match end? Because I don't remember. How did that match end?
It ended with a drop kick. Brickhouse Brown caught the drop. Apparently, was supposed to tag in Sonny, and Sonny was supposed to come in and finish up. But apparently, Brickhouse decided, "I'm going with the drop kick, and I'm going."
Well, now was it Brickhouse Brown's fault, or did the guy not kick out of it?
He didn't kick out. He didn't kick out.
I watched this morning, but which one was it? Was it Hans? It wasn't Hans Schroeder that was.
No, it was Bob Owens.
Maybe he was. Maybe he had knocked him out with the drop kick.
Maybe he could have. It could have blowed up so bad he couldn't continue.
Yeah,
he was very aggressive at the beginning of the match.
Could have just been living up to his moniker of being bad.
Yeah. Normally big and bad coming going together.
Hey, he was here almost every week. I noticed on these shows.
Yeah. He just as well to move to Shreveport.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a list of matches he can show where he got beat, so he can.
He can do even a video of that.
Yeah,
get to sell that. All right, here we go. So he comes back. We've got Jim Ross, and we're going to have a workout. Now, a few weeks ago, Magnum TA did his workout on television, and now Butch Reed and Buddy Landell's going to do their workout. And all the time he's out there, we need somebody that we can work out with. We want to show how to train, and they were calling for Brickhouse Brown. And normally they would call him Outhouse, and they would have been right in this situation because he was, yeah. But anyway, so he calls out Brickhouse. Finally, Brickhouse Brown comes down. And Reed's wanting him to do his push-ups, and Reed just did some beautiful push-ups. I mean, those were just I couldn't do those. But yeah, Reed was just doing it. So he was wanting him to do push-ups, and he said, "You know what? Let's just arm wrestle." And Reed got down, and he was going to arm wrestle Brickhouse Brown, and Landell said, "Whoa, hold it! You don't need to be arm wrestling him. You'll tear his arm off. I'll get down there and I'll do it myself." Well, they do the arm wrestling, and finally Brickhouse Brown puts Landell down. At that time, Reed goes up to the top rope, is going to come off. In comes Sonny King. He slams him off, and they clean the house. Just beautiful. Once again.
At least Brickhouse was better in this than he was.
Well, I noticed that when he's in shorter matches, he is. Yeah. Anything over 2 minutes, goes downhill from there.
Well, now we at first, when we first started talking about this, if people can go back and watch some older episodes, we talked about, we wonder why Brickhouse Brown didn't get a bigger push. But watching now we see what happened is he was unable to really do what needed to be done to do that. So I guess that's the reason.
And it could have been that it was beyond. It was too soon for him to be pushed into that position. Later on, he becomes fantastic. But at this time, he may be just too overwhelmed at this point, nervous or what have you. The butterflies might be getting to him.
Before this, maybe somebody, maybe even on just listening to this, did he wrestle somewhere else prior to coming there? I mean, I'm pretty sure they just didn't bring him out of the school or something.
I remember seeing him at Jarrett Promotions, but I'm not sure. Jack?
Yeah, I remember seeing him around. I think I worked a card or two with him before this.
But I guess, though, he wasn't involved with angles and stuff that was very important to
I don't
television.
believe so.
No.
So that was probably, he just wasn't seasoned enough to take that spot. All right.
Yeah,
well, at least we know now.
And we have to understand, this was the spot Brickhouse Brown and later on Master G, George Wells, this is a spot of Junkyard Dog. So it's a very important, they're trying to find a very important person to be in that spot. So not just anybody, it's proving it. Like I said before, Junkyard Dog was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It's not something that just anybody can step into those shoes and, hey, we can just replace you with anybody. No, you can't. No, you can't. And Junkyard Dog was one of those you just couldn't replace. Just once in a lifetime.
Well, they shouldn't have. We've talked about this before. They shouldn't have tried to recreate. They should have been creating and not recreate. That's happening a lot, even in the wrestling business today. They're trying to recreate people, and they need to be creating people, or at least let them create themselves. So it would probably be better if you let them create themselves. All right, go ahead, Rodney.
Match number 4, Exotic, Adrian Street, Miss Linda against Robert Christie. And I got to say, Adrian is mighty aggressive in the Mid-South, more so than I've seen him anywhere else. I mean, I guess that's what Watts wanted. He wanted that facade of being one way, and then when he gets in there, he just becomes just a madman. And I mean, those forearms are just pow. I mean, they are solid. I mean,
now, don't forget now, before that match, now they showed that video of Adrian Street tiptoe through the tulips.
Right. Absolutely.
By Tiny Tim.
Yes. Yes.
I would have knew that, but it's on this sheet right here, so I wouldn't knew that.
Well, Adrian was just fantastic again, and I mean, he was showing his ability. Yeah. And then they had that leg hold, that I guess you'd call it a single leg. I don't know what you call it. It was reverse spinning toe hold of some kind. What would you call that, Jack, that he used?
Your call's good.
Okay. Anyway, Adrian Street went.
We call it the Sabida. That's the Sabida move right there. So
okay. All right.
That's
what it is. How you spell that?
I have no clue.
Okay. Anybody knows how to spell the Sabida? Okay.
It's the Sabida move right there.
See that? And we have a great tag team match coming up. Ernie Ladd, Crusher Khrushchev against Johnny Mantell and Terry Taylor. Now, Brett, I don't know if you noticed in this match, but Ernie Ladd threw a drop kick.
Did he really throw a drop kick?
He threw a drop kick in this match.
Man,
after Bill Watts. Now, Bill Watts had just said, now he's in the twilight of his years. And then he throws that drop kick, and he said, well, maybe I've said he was in his twilight too soon. That's what Bill Watts said during the match. Absolutely tremendous match.
For a guy that had bad knees, he was working his tail off.
He really was. He really was. It started off, and of course, Ladd, like I said, Ladd gets caught with the trap. And of course, Mantell and then Taylor, tremendous team. I mean, you could have put them. I think that team, with the way they had it all worked out, they could have went against the Midnight Easy. They could have easily went against Midnight. They could have went against Reed and Landale. It was just, they were great. They had their stuff totally together, and it just shows their experience. Johnny Mantell. Just fantastic. I mentioned about one of the masked men being possibly Johnny Mantell in one of the interviews that I was doing with Bill Dundee, and he said, I wished it was. And I see what he's talking about. I mean, just fantastic. Just fantastic. In the end, it was Johnny Mantell throwing in Crusher Khrushchev. He goes down. Terry Taylor catches him with the fine flying forearm. Tag made again. Mantell comes right around, snuck behind, catching with the Russian leg sweep, and then it was all over. 1, 2. Ladd comes in, does the double leg drop, and Mantell gets out of the way. Then he comes around, rolls him up. 1, 2, 3, just beautiful, just a beautiful.
Well,
match.
Evidently, Johnny Mantell won the toss in the dressing room of being able to use the Russian leg sweep between him and Brickhouse Brown.
Oh, okay.
Because Brickhouse Brown did use it. So evidently, when he came in, they were back in the dressing room. They decided, listen, we're going to play a card game. and whoever wins this card game is going to get to use the Russian Lex this week because all at once he ends up using it, and and Brickass Brown couldn't. I think Brickass Brown went to the drop kick.
To the drop kick, yes, he was very good. He had a good. When he threw a drop kick, it was effortless. It was absolutely effortless.
Let me show everybody this that hasn't seen it. This is the actual. Let me see if I can go big here to. Can everybody see that? This was the actual. That was the whole TV sheet right there. That's how they did it. Jim Ross is the one that wrote this up. But there it is right there.
That's history right there. That is history right there. The end of the show, close the show out, talking about they're going to show why Cornette is wearing the mask now, because Jimmy Cornette has this mask on after his head was shaved, and we'll cover that in the next one. And then Boyd Pierce, they talk about his mother again, and then they end the show that they're saying they're going to take care of or they're going to go to Tampa and bring Cornette and them up to the Mid-South Board of Directors and see what they can be done about the situation between them Midnight Express over their chair incidents. Just I think fantastic.
All right, they had a TV. This was the TV sheet they used for the actual night. Now in Houston, they had their own little TV thing that they would make. And I'll show this one. This was for Houston wrestling. As you say, Houston TV Place. This is the one we just watched, episode 261. I think the total run time there says 41:54. But this is what they used in Houston, Texas to play on. As you see, it's almost the same exact thing. It looks like they had an extra segment in there.
Probably some local stuff from the Sam Houston Coliseum.
It looked like the beginning of it was because they showed Lothario and Reed. Right. And it looked like does that say belting? No, it says beating. So they must have invested an angle right there but that's the sheet they use for the Houston show.
And I noticed an interview with Mr. Lothario right after that.
Yes.
Interview.
Yeah, that's an interview, folks.
Interview.
Now, when you hear some other podcasters, they'll say that was a promo, but folks, they did not call those promos back in the day. Now, if they're talking about modern day, yes, but when you hear another podcaster say he did his promo, it was not called promos back then. It was called interviews. So when they're saying that, make sure you get onto them and say those were interviews.
It depends on what year it is.
Yes.
All right. So. Yes, indeed. So that ends it, and it just begins. And I mean, it's about to really kick in. Coming up, Bill Dundee will be on his way. We've got Master G on his way. It's about to heat up really good.
Here's a card that they did in Greenwood, Mississippi, off of 261. As you see, as you see right up here, there's a tape 261. And that's when they knew what card to put on here. But it was the Mid-South Tag Team titles, no DQ, had been right after them getting hit with the chairs. The Fantastics, Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton against the Midnight Express. And I think they ran two towns this night. The North American title, no DQ, Magnum TA and Hacksaw Butch Reed, Sonny King and Big Ernie Ladd. Superstar Bill Dundee actually wrestling on this card against Mad Dog Boyd, which came from Memphis. King Cobra against Lou Winston. That's the
King Cobra was good.
Yes,
King Cobra was good. Now, obviously, all these main events this night was no disqualification.
I don't believe they were all disqualification. But let me show somebody, because somebody here probably didn't see these. Here are the actual booking sheets that was used during this time period. Let me see if I can go big here. As you see, this told everybody where they were going to be. This was during September. What the date was this TV?
This was going to be in September. I think it's September 9th. September 6th. I'm sorry, September 6th.
These are little dates after this. And here's, some people have asked, what was the schedule like in Mid-South Wrestling? So here's the schedule. Monday, September 24th, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Tuesday, September 25th, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Wednesday, September 26th, Shreveport TV. Thursday, September 27th, they were going to be in Greenwood, Mississippi, and LaRonger, Louisiana. Beautiful.
LaRonger.
The greatest
Coliseum. Did you ever go to LaRonger? You ever been to LaRonger, Jack?
No.
Oh, you missed it. Oh, it's just beautiful.
And this was that. And this is what they did in Greenwood, Mississippi. The Fantastics went against the Midnight Express in Greenville and Greenwood, and in LaRonger, Jim Duggan and Terry Taylor against Hercules Hernandez and Steve Dr. Death Williams. That was the. Well, I think that that was for this card right here. I just talked about. So, and then Friday, September 28th, Houston, Texas. And it was on this particular way, George Wells was already there against Butch Reed, and we probably wonder why it didn't draw. That was the main event. And then Saturday, September 29th, Beaumont, Texas. Sunday, September 30th, Lafayette at 3 p.m. Thibodaux, Louisiana at 7:30.
What a town. Thibodaux.
Oh, yeah. It was a great town.
What a town.
Monday, October 1st was New Orleans at the Downtown Auditorium. Tuesday, October 2nd, Shreveport, Louisiana. Wednesday, October 3rd, Alexandria, Louisiana. Thursday, October 4th, Crowsec, Arkansas, if that's how you say that. I'm not for sure that's how you say that. Friday, October 5th, Texarkana. I think that's Arkansas. Saturday, October 6th, Biloxi, Mississippi. Sunday, October 7th, Oklahoma City at the Marriott at 3 p.m. and Tulsa at 7:30. And then Monday, October 8th, Lake Charles, Louisiana. I mean, this is
Lake Charles, another town. Yeah, it's beautiful.
And now I've got one more little thing to show. This is the actual budgets they had for television back then and for radio and stuff. This is what they spent. As you see, Alexandria TV was $250 per week. Monroe TV was $150 per week. Lake Charles was $500 per week. I think that says per Civic Center event. So they only spent $500 per Civic Center event. Beaumont, Texas was $400 per week. Biloxi TV, $400 per week. You see New Orleans was $1,200. I mean, you can just see different what they paid for their television times. Lafayette looks like it was $13.90. I think that's what that says. But you see, this is what they paid. So even in 1984, people were paying for their TV times. So and this was I think this was Jim Ross's advertising agency that took care of this. I'm pretty sure it was Jim Ross.
Yeah. Rob Mckay said that looks like his cable bill.
But just interesting stuff that there's not many people are going to have those. I just during the years we kept the majority of everything we ever did, but part of it got wet and messed up. So
yeah, it was a bad day.
All right, do we need to answer some of these questions, Rodney?
Let's see. We've got Eric Faulting. He says that I bet Adrian Street character would be a huge hit in today's wrestling. It was Adrian Street doing it, possibly, but it's again, it's hard to replicate because Adrian had developed over the years. I'm talking over the years, not just a few weeks, not just a year, but I'm talking about years and years of development. And I'm not sure if he's ever chronicled in one of his books or not. But I mean, he started off. He was very small when he started in England, and so he said, "I had to do something to get the promoter's attention." So he was starting to wear makeup, and he had his hair. At first, it looked like a gigantic blonde clown wig when he first started. And then he said everything just progressed. One thing led to another. So it took years to develop what he was doing. It's quite extraordinary. And then he made all of his own stuff. He was actually an artist. He actually wrote his own music. Yes, he was great.
Now, Jack, didn't you just watch a video on Adrian?
Yeah, it's what I was just fixing to mention. There's a new documentary out. It's on Amazon Prime and a few other platforms available to us here. Trying to think of the name of it. You May Be Pretty, but I Am Beautiful, the Adrian Street story. And $6.99 to rent and was absolutely worth every penny of it. I mean, very well made. Mick Foley is in there speaking very highly of their time together in Continental and the friendship they developed. And if you know Adrian, and we all do, the character you saw in the ring was just Adrian turned up a little bit. You didn't have to turn him up full volume. He was pretty much at full volume most of the time. Some of the most fun times I ever had was having breakfast with him and talking stories. So, I highly recommend anybody watch that.
And he loved talking about him. Yeah, he really did. He loved telling his story.
The funniest thing I ever heard him say was, I am so bad that I would hate to meet myself in a dark alley. And then he said, but then again, maybe I would.
Ricky Jay Brooks has got a question there, Ron.
And then he's enjoying the show from Farmouth, Kentucky. Do you know when Buzz Sawyer made his debut in Mid-South? Buzz Sawyer actually worked in Mid-South before. I think he worked with Tri-State. But he also came when he was working in Atlanta, doing this stuff with Tommy Rich. I remember seeing some of their stuff from Houston. Buzz Sawyer on there. So it's Buzz Sawyer didn't come there in '85. I think he had already been there previously. What year I'm not sure, but I think he made his way in and out over the years.
Now Tommy Rich will tell you that him and Buzz Sawyer came to the Superdome and he got him $100 payoff. Now I don't know if that's true or not. That's what he says. I don't know. That seems awful low for a Superdome card.
Well, I can tell you right now,
ringing the bell made more than that.
I can tell you right now, before Bill Dundee got there in 1984, the November Superdome drew 8,000 people. That's what the attendance was at. And then the very next first Superdome Bill Dundee produced, right at 25,000 people. So that's a big difference. Rhett Harrison, whatever happened to Joel Watts when UWF was sold to Mid-Atlantic? You didn't hear his name again. I think he pretty much liked his job as doing video. He liked the production aspect.
He actually went to work for Vince McMahon for a while. Joel Watts did. Bill Watts got mad at him, so he didn't talk to him for a long period of time. But he did go there. He did work there for a while. I don't think he stayed there long, but.
Well, that kind of attitude will lead to what we will pitch in 1985, which Bill Watts said, "No way we're doing that here," and we'll talk about that when we get there. 1985.
Is there anything we need to talk about for this show before we go?
No, I think, like I said, again, just beautiful wrestling. If you, like I said, it's just if you want to really see what it means to make a connection with the wrestling fans, you need to see this contract signing that we talked about in this show. And like I said, watch it twice. Watch it for what it is, and then watch the crowd response and see if that's ever replicated in any of the programs you're watching today. I can assure you, probably not.
And that's episode 261. 261. You see it up there, episode 261. You can find it on YouTube. And I don't know, Jack, is it under episodes on the WWE Network?
Yes. Well, I'm not sure on the WWE Network. I'll just watch it on YouTube. And if you'll just go Mid-South, and the number 261, it'll pull it right up.
And you need to watch it if you've not seen the contract signing. It's worth watching. And then if you want to watch a train wreck, watch that Sonny King Brickhouse Brown match. You'll enjoy that.
Hey, when you get the attention of the boss man, he says something about it while he's commentating. Boy, it's not going to be pretty. I can tell you that right now.
Well, let's do our merch plug.
Okay,
now they call the stuff. Now we used to call it gimmicks in the wrestling business, and then they call it merchandise. But now I gotta make sure I tell the merch plug. They call it merch now. The merch plug. Wait a minute. Let me get up on this.
There you go.
The Bomber coffee cup right there. The Bomber coffee cup available when you go right here to facebook.com Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can go to Facebook, hit the shop button, and then you can go over there and if you want to support the channel, buy some merchandise. There's some new stuff up there. There's stuff out there for the insiders. We've got T-shirts on there right now that you can go over there buy. We have 2 separate shirts that if you could pick from and be part of the insiders on Pro Wrestling Inside and Out.
Hey, Rob just said that he saves his train wreck viewing for Wednesday nights.
Well, that's a different show and a different time. All right, Jack, any last comments before we leave?
No, just glad you guys came on. Hope you like this preview on Facebook. Join us on YouTube, just YouTube, every Friday night.
Yep. Whether this will be the last time we come on Facebook, we just wanted to come on and let you know what you might be missing if you've not moved over to YouTube and watch this. And if you're not a subscriber to the YouTube channel, go over there and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. And it lets us know that you care what we're doing, because we are going to be doing shows just over on YouTube, and that's going to be coming in 2021. You will be only seeing shows on the YouTube. We'll still have ones on Facebook, but we'll have different ones over there talking about wrestling. And if you're watching right now on Facebook, give us a like and share the page. And we thank everyone, don't we, Rodney?
That's exactly right. For Jack Lord, Brent West, I'm Rodney West, and we'll see you on the next Pro Wrestling Inside and Out.